Welcome on into episode 15 of the Fortnite skin series. I had to talk about this one. We all got it in the Winterfest gifts. We all know how we got it. It was the gold and red gift. That was the little small one that was right in front of the TV to the left of the lodge for the 2014 Winterfest. We all are aware that if you did the Winterfest free gifts, you got this skin. And I already bought the emote back in like early November. Like November, I don't know, first week of November when Snoop first got into the shop, which this is kind of the main reason I'm bringing this up. First of all, this skin, if you do anything regarding dancing emotes, it's phenomenal. Like, it is a phenomenal skin. Like, look how beautiful it is. I mean, that is great. And then the chain, him, obviously he looks more cartoony than his skin in the shop, but him emoting is incredible. Like the emotes that they give Snoop, the Santa dog, fantastic. The skin is fantastic. It is great. It is perfect for wintertime if you want to do, you know, when the season is bright. I will definitely be using this skin a lot more for Christmas next year because I got it for Winterfest specifically, right? Like I got my Halloween ones. I got this one. And I had already bought the emote because I wanted the Snoop Dogg emote because if you don't know, the Snoop Dogg emote is actually a Crip Walk. If you don't know what a Crip Walk is, that's part of gang affiliation. I think it's hilarious that Fortnite thinks that they should be having those kind of things in a game. Where I grew up, gang affiliation was taken very seriously. And it was something that if you didn't walk the proper channels or know the right people or go about things in a proper manner, your life was on the line. That's all I'm going to say. And I was never gang affiliated at all, period. I just never shied into that. I never fell into that stuff because to me it was all ignorance. But it's also something that if you're born into it, there's nothing you can do about it for the most part because it's kind of like it's basically like a cult religion. It's the same thing. If you're born into it, you know, if it's all you have as a family, sure, you can go and be more successful and not be involved, but you're going to still be involved because those are family members, right? It's a very intricate subject, socioeconomic, sociological conversation, things that I've learned in college, things that I've learned with friends, things that I've learned with people who don't know what gang affiliation is like, etc. But from a humor perspective, taking a step back from the seriousness of those conversations, Snoop's emote in this game is a Crip Walk, and I find it hilarious that you know he does the thing. He just did it right there. He does the hand signals for the West Coast, but like if you do a couple of hand signals a little bit different, they're gang affiliation. So it's like what's funny is he does the Crip Walk. It's called the Sea Walk, but it's a Crip Walk. And like they straight up slap it in the face in the game. And I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, yo, I have to buy this because it's hilarious. Because I think one day someone's gonna come into Epic Games or whomever and be like, yeah, we're gonna need to change it, or we're gonna have to give Snoop a different dance, different emote altogether. So something tells me someday that's going to go away. Kind of like the gritty. They've brought the gritty back because of the NFL, because of the popularity of it. But when it's strictly discussed in the format of the artist who made it, who's now in, you know, he's in jail. He's going through custody situations right now in regards to being, you know, incarcerated. Like that's why they were talking about potentially not bringing the gritty back, which makes sense, right? Because it's we're talking about legality, we're talking about criminality, we're talking about issues that are real. And that's why you don't bring those things back into the game, because then when someone's like, well, what's that dance? You talk about who it came from, the origination of it, and you think, oh, that's a criminal. Why are we attributing criminality with stuff? I think they can skate around the fact that Snoop's emote, the drop it like it's hot emote isn't gang affiliated because Snoop Dogg has become so popular, but I also understand like it's a generational thing. Young kids have no idea who Snoop Dogg really is. Again, I'm not sitting here trying to be political or dig into Snoop Dogg. I think Snoop Dogg is awesome. I think Snoop Dogg is incredible. And I think Snoop Dogg also, just to really hammer in the point, I think he works his butt off. He has been doing so much promotional stuff everywhere. You've got to give him credit. And I think another again, I don't really know, but from what I've seen and on what I have heard on a very, very, very shallow, what would you call it, surface level perspective, I have not seen Snoop's kids in the news for being in jail or for going through incarceration or for going through anything like that. Snoop was dedicated to his children after he started in the early 90s with with all those NWA guys and the West Coast rap scene and all that stuff. To be 100% honest, outside of his musical career, he did some things, like he did some TV shows here and there, but over the last 2 or 3 years, he has really ratcheted up his marketing campaign for whatever reason. And I think a lot of it is from the fact that his kids are now grown up, they're getting older, he's an empty nester, he doesn't have anything to do, it's free money. He's very easily marketable because Snoop is a great dude. From all the things that I've ever seen, Snoop is a great guy. Anytime he does an interview, anytime he talks, he's amazing. But I think what's interesting is in his younger days, because I don't, obviously the kids have no perspective. My nephew has no perspective. I'll give you the perspective of my nephew real quick. I've always been on the fence of buying a Shaq skin, Shaquille O'Neal. He told me, oh, the basketball guy, like, you wanted to buy that basketball guy skin? I'm like, you said that basketball guy? Like, Shaquille O'Neal? He said, oh, yeah, Shaq. I'm like, do you not, like, in my mind, I'm like, do you not realize Shaquille O'Neal is, like, possibly, in many people's eyes who don't know anything about basketball, the greatest center of all time? If you're my age, 34 years old, and you don't think Shaquille O'Neal is the greatest center you've ever seen in your life living, there has never been in our life, maybe Hakeem Olajuwon, in our life, my life, a millennial's life, a middle of the road millennial's life. I've never seen a better center than Shaq in my life than him. Nobody, period. None. And I'm a diehard Spurs fan. I grew up watching Tim Duncan. I grew up watching all these things. I covered the NBA for a decade. I've never seen a better center in the league than Shaq. Period. Period. From 2000 to 2003, one of the greatest players we've ever seen. I have him in my top 5 all time. He's number 5, but I have him in my top 5. He's unbelievable. So my nephew has no perspective of a Shaq, so he's obviously going to have no perspective of Snoop in the 90s, where this kind of stuff, this music, was deemed as hatred, gangster rap, like really just vicious, disgusting. You name the things that boomers would say about this music. Quite frankly, about 20% of that was accurate. Not the guys who eventually made it to become really, really, really powerful, incredibly successful business people like Dr. Dre, the Ice Cube, an incredible actor, obviously still an incredible artist, and then Snoop Dogg and all those guys. And there's a bunch of them. Eminem, even when we talk about Eminem, like Eminem's, I know he only does music, but he's found a way to stay in the spotlight. And Snoop has found a way to get back into the spotlight. But I get back to the whole emote, like the drop it like it's hot emo. It's gang affiliated. And it's amazing that's in the game. And to me, it's hilarious because I know someday they're going to sit there and be like, it's really close to, a Crip Walk, and maybe we should think about it. Obviously, it's a sea walk. I can see if you go into the details of the definition of it and what it is, yes, it's more of a sea walk, and I get it. But I look at it as something totally different. And that's not being ignorant. That's just, it's close enough. And I've literally seen people of all nationalities point it out. Oh, he's literally crip walking on Fortnite. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Younger Snoop, this would have been completely inappropriate. We're looking at pretty much Grandpa Snoop, where he's in the spotlight of every single national media outlet. He is everywhere from a marketing perspective, and frankly, his image is squeaky clean these days. He really does a great job. Yeah, okay, he's all about the weed. We know all that. No one's ignorant, but 30 years ago, all that stuff was deemed as grotesque and like ignorant and unacceptable. And yeah, this isn't ever going to do it. Times have changed. Nowadays, this is more of the old school look, whereas back then it was deemed as irreprehensible, like unacceptable, like we can't accept this in society. Like it's great if you want to make money off of it doing it your own way, but you're never going to be big on it. Well, look, it's been 30 years and he's getting big off of it. Anyway, back to my point. All the emotes for this skin are incredible. It's a great skin for Winterfest. It's a great skin for the holidays. And I think it's an amazing dig at Fortnite as well. For this reason alone, because I wanted to say this. They have had Snoop Dogg in the shop for legitimate 2+ months. As we sit here, as the recording of this video, he's still in the shop. And they release a free skin. If you're one of the suckers that bought the bundles and all the things with Snoop Dogg in it, I mean, if you bought the car, that's fine. That's different because you're not going to get that with the free skin. But if you're one of the suckers that bought all that stuff, all I bought was the emote. I just wanted the emote. But if you bought all the other stuff, the bundles, all the expensive stuff that came with the Snoop Dogg stuff, and then you found out they were giving you a free skin of Snoop Dogg, I wonder how messed up that made you feel. Unless you're an absolute diehard Snoop Dogg fan, totally get it. But like, if all you wanted was like a couple of like one skin, you got gypped. Like if all you wanted was one skin, you could have just waited for this one. This one's fantastic. They did a brilliant job with this skin, and this was a free skin. So I had to mention this one. Sorry for the elongated, you know, peak and valley and discussion on that one. So this will be a 13-minute video, but I had to bring all that up because back in the day, this stuff would not have been acceptable. And it's in a video game for children now. It just goes to show you when the eras and the times and things change and when people change, because Snoop is great. Snoop also had some really, really intense criminal things that occurred to him that he got dismissed, which is amazing and is good because clearly it changed his life forever. But again, all those things, when they happened, no one would have ever thought he would turn into this. I'm happy for him. You know, as a man of faith, not trying to get religious here, I am happy for him. But I can see why maybe some people would be like, yeah, what the heck, right? The controversy sits there. The controversy sits with everything, but the controversy sits there. For me, my perspective, I think it's hilarious. I think it's great. I think it's amazing. I think it goes to show that people can change no matter what perspective they're in their life and no matter what situation, and that ultimately life is fluid. Life is not concrete, and Snoop Dogg is honestly one of the more perfect examples of that. And so is a lot of people, but he is one of the more perfect examples of that. And with the image he displays these days and the marketing that he displays these days, I have no problem with it. Sure, did I mention a whole lot of things that were controversial in this video? 100%. But Snoop Dogg is one of the more well-liked people in America these days because he did do a whole lot for his kids. I mean, if you look at all the stuff he did with his kids and the stuff he does for kids, it's truly incredible. And that's why I have a lot of respect for it, and that's why I really, really like this skin, because it does take me back to my childhood. Snoop Dogg was a big deal back when I was a kid. Big deal. He still is. He's still a big deal. It was just different when I was a kid. It was kind of a part of like that Eminem like attitude mentality. Sorry, this is gonna be a 15-minute video. We'll do 15. Kind of like the attitude mentality, right? You got to be a badass. You gotta have swagger. You gotta have confidence. That's Snoop Dogg. Like, come on, man. Come on, man. And Snoop Dogg is a huge, huge sports fan. He loves sports. I love sports too. Boom. So I love this skin because it works with the emotes. It kind of gives a little bit of a back end. I got the emote already. His emote, and it gives a little bit of a jab at Fortnite of like, yeah, you guys wanted the skin. Here's your free one. Boom. I love it. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next episode of the Fortnite skins series. I'm excited for the next one. I'm so excited. I'm so excited, y'all. Have a good one.